How you doing? I'm Jason, created 725 credit score. And as you can see, I'm inching closer and closer and closer and closer to the camera because this is a very important subject. It's called getting behind the 8 ball, and it's going to show you how it reflects towards paying bills and when it's dealing with credit. We're going to go back to my scenario that we've had before with the basketball team and halftime. We got 3 scenarios. We got tied at half, we got down by 30 at half, and then we have, right here, we're going to have up by 30. Anytime, we all already know, because I've got 2 other videos about getting behind the 8 ball, it's when you're in immediate danger. It's the game of billiards, which is played on the pool table with the stick, popping balls into the hole. You know, once you're behind the 8 ball, you're in immediate danger because, you know, if you hit the ball into the hole, the game is over and you lost. And typically when you're behind it, you can't really maneuver and you end up hitting it, and it's a chance it goes into one of those holes. So that's where that term comes from. I hope everybody knows that by now. Immediate danger, 8 ball. Think about that. So we're going to start off with the person at halftime and show how it relates to getting behind the 8 ball. Well, this person's at halftime, they're tied in the game for basketball's team. So when it relates to credit, it means that they haven't necessarily established credit yet. So they're not in great shape, but they're not in bad shape. So it's okay because it doesn't take long to be able to build credit. Maybe like a year, and then you'll be able to have some good open standard accounts. So the next 7 years, as long as they continue to do what they're supposed to do, then they're going to be looked on as favorable. Now, we take the person that's in the middle. We down by 30. That means that somehow something has happened and we made some mistakes at the very beginning. We didn't really capitalize on the mistakes, and now we got some negative things on our credit report. So we done that within the first year of having credit. So the next 7 years, if you do what you're supposed to do, within that whole 7-year time period, you're going to be reflected as a person with bad credit. It's going to be tough for somebody to trust you because you immediately came out the gate and you let your guard down and you made some mistakes. So the third one is going to be the person that's up by 30. That's going to be the proactive person. That's the person that came out the gate 18, bam, getting the credit card, and within the first year they got about 3 good accounts open. The next 7 years they do what they're supposed to do. They're going to be reflected as favorable because of the fact that they were real proactive. And the whole concept is, regardless of whichever situation you're in, we don't want to be in the middle. We don't want to let ourselves go with anything because that puts you behind 8 ball. I would rather you not start it and then not have anything than to try to have something and not be responsible. Typically, most times, a minimum payment on a person who's starting when they first get a credit card or 2, it's going to be like $15. $15. If you can't pay $15 on a minimum payment of something you charge $300 on, you don't need a credit card. You don't necessarily have to go out. You don't have to go to places and spend money. You can sacrifice a meal or 2. Not saying don't eat, but I'm saying don't go to one of those expensive restaurants. Take that money and pay the minimum payment. It's nothing. It's easy. So you can be like this person here. We want to prevent you from getting behind the 8 ball, and that's the whole purpose of the website. That's the most important part because you can put in all the hard work as possible to be able to keep your credit straight. But if you're already behind the 8 ball, it's not going to really reflect it. So the concept is start credit and pay your bills.